Welcome to my watercolour YouTube channel. I'm Karen Rice. How would you like to loosen up your watercolour painting? I hope this painting of some mistletoe will inspire you to try out some of these techniques and loosen up your watercolours. So, shall we get started? These are some of the materials I'm going to be using in this demonstration, and a full list of these can be found in the description below, along with the colour list and alternative colours, which I hope you're going to find helpful. This is the gorgeous reference photograph that I will be using. I'm only going to use part of it, and a link for this will be found in the description below. For those of you who would like access to the sketch outline, this is available on my Patreon membership. Just click the link in the top right hand corner and it will give you more details. You can get access to longer tutorials with lots more tips and techniques, lots more voiceovers, and you can cancel anytime. I'm using a mixture of yellow and quinacridone gold to put on the sort of stems here, and then I'm dropping in some green and a little bit of Paynes grey, wet into wet, just to put the darks on so the light's coming from the right. And it just sort of, drizzle the paint in wet, and just have fun with it. Keep it loose, drop in water, just let magic happen. The important things when you're loosening up your watercolours is you don't overdo things. You just almost paint once and just leave it and let the watercolour paint do the work. While the paint was still damp, I'm scratching out with my plastic cut up card, but you could use a cocktail stick, recommended to me recently by one of my patrons. So you may find that easier. But what it does, it scratches the paper and the paint goes into the scratch and creates a darker mark. And if you take a good close look at the photograph, you've got all these textures on the stems. So I found that technique really sort of useful, and it also really does loosen you up. I'm painting the leaves now. I put a little bit of yellow at the top, and if you saw me, I'm spattering there. And what that does, it really loosens you up, because obviously it's a bit of a mess in a way. It creates texture, but it stops that tightening up because you splashed your background or your leaf and things don't matter anymore, and it kind of lets you sort of just let go. What I'm putting on here is some Paynes grey and green, and it's sort of wet and dry at the bottom, and I'm pushing it up into that sort of lighter green and yellow paint, and I'm using a size 6 brush. And I'm just going to continue on painting the leaves, dropping in turquoise, using greens and yellows and Paynes grey, and giving a little splatter just to loosen me up and have some fun. So once you've finished painting your leaves, it's time to paint your berries. They are white berries. They almost look like pearls. So what I'm using is Naples yellow. If you don't have Naples yellow, why not use something like a very watered down raw sienna or yellow ochre? And I'm just painting it wet on dry, and I'm leaving light at the top of the berries as well, and some round the edges. Try to keep them really nice and light and don't overwork them. I'm dropping in some very, very dilute Quinacridone rust, but you could use burnt sienna, and I'm painting this wet into wet just under the underside where there's a little bit of shadow on these little berries. The key to keeping your watercolours loose is to try not to do too much painting. Less is more. And just sort of lots of water, lots of colour. I'm actually painting around the outside of these little berries on the right hand side. I'm using cobalt blue. I'm using my size 6 brush. I'm just really carefully painting around the edge just to kind of get that dark against light. I've gone into the centre now, and I'm using my larger size 10 brush, and I've added a little bit of Paynes grey to that colour as well. Wet on dry, and then I'm diluting and blending out with water. So you've just got the dark area near the berries and lighter when it goes out towards the stems. Saw there I added a little bit of turquoise as well, so you could use a Prussian blue or cerulean. I'm using my size 4 brush now, and I'm painting little details on the berries using a little bit of the Quinacridone rust, but you could use burnt sienna, and I'm going to put a touch of Paynes grey in the centre just to bring them to life and to create those sort of darks and details. I'm finishing off now with a spatter of some of the Quinacridone rust and some of the greens. It really kind of gives that painting a loose quality. I'm also spattering some white paint, not to make it look like snow, but just to give that sort of essence of the little berries, just to finish it off wet on dry. I think I'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for watching this little video, and I hope it inspires you to loosen up your watercolours and just have fun with them, and even make a Christmas card. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll get updates of my latest videos. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments section below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And again, if you'd like to get access to sketching outlines, longer tutorials with lots more discussion about colour mixing and lots more voiceovers, why not think about the Patreon membership? Thank you again for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.